Good morning, Kaylin. Thank you for choosing this self-paced course. As a reminder, we are looking at 3 key areas where we are most likely to start to embed some personalized learning themes. And that is done historically through content, process, and product. If that sounds familiar, that is the basis behind a lot of differentiation strategies, a lot of what pre-service teaching centers around when we talk about our Tier 1 instruction with all learners in our class. The 3 main ways that we can differentiate is through our content, through our process by which we teach, or the products in which we expect our students to show their understanding. So while those are differentiation strategies, personalized learning falls on that differentiation continuum. So we're looking at 3 different areas. So the goal of today is to kind of think through each of those areas and then take a look at some actual lessons or ideas that you have and see how you can move through that continuum in any one of those. Not always feasible or reasonable to think that we can personalize in all 3 of those. We might end up having 125 different paths for 125 different students. So really focusing on one just to see how you can progress through. So when we talk about personalizing content, we start to talk about the what students are learning. That might be based on needs of vocabulary terms. It might be numbers and math that they are studying. It might be different novels that kids are reading. It might be different eras in a history class. So really looking at the what when we're talking about content, looking at what our reported standards are, what our expectations are, and then can we start to allow students to have a voice and choice in what they are learning to meet a given standard. If we're talking about characterization, do all of the students have to use the same novel? If I am talking about demonstrating an understanding of 2-step equations, do they all have to have the same math problems or the same word problems? And starting to think through that. The second piece then becomes the process. That is how students are taught. So when we think of very restrictive on that legacy-based instruction, when students are all hearing the same whole group lesson, we want to start to shift down that continuum again. When we talk about embedding student voice, student choice, we look at the process of how kids learn. Do students need different tools? If we're in math, does it make sense for a student to have a calculator or a manipulative that other students may not have? Is there a different process for note-taking? Is there a different process for doing particular research? Is there a different process for how you use technology or opportunities for students to use technology that makes that process of learning a little bit different? We talk about different modalities of learning through video, through direct instruction, through small group conferencing, goal setting. So looking at personalizing through the process is the how they learn. And then finally, regardless of whether you're through the content or through the process, the third piece of that is personalizing through the products in which kids are using to demonstrate their understanding. That is probably where we see most personalizing happening. We see things through choice menus, through grids, through must-do, may-dos, and those may-dos are usually products that they can show the teacher that they understand a given reported standard or a given content. So looking at different choices for demonstrating their writing. Maybe they are giving an oral presentation, maybe they're giving a traditional essay, maybe they are giving a mixed mode presentation with technology involved. So really looking at what that product could look like. Can it be gamified to increase some student engagement? Can it be student-led? Can there be some type of reciprocal teaching where they're actually demonstrating their understanding by showing you that they're teaching their classmates? So really thinking through what that end product looks like as an example of a demonstration of learning. So what we want you to do for this session, think through those 3. Take a look at an upcoming lesson that you may have. Choose one. If you're really eager, maybe you start to look at the content plus product or process plus product. And then really hoping that you come away with some kind of tangible takeaway for your classes once we resume after Thanksgiving break. Any questions, feel free to shoot us a text message or an email. We are excited and happy to answer any and all questions. Thank you so much. Have a great day.